Hi everyone, welcome to On the Other Hand. I'm Ariane Zurcher, and this video is how to stitch a cast-on rose, and then I'll show you how I'm going to incorporate it in my next piece. Let's make a cast-on bullion rose. You can see I've done a couple here. This stitch is great for variegated threads. I love using the painters, but any variegated thread, of course, will do. And this is a soft cotton, so it's going to be a number 3. I'm going to give myself a fairly long length. My favorite needle to use is the Tulips number 1 Milner's, and I love it because it has a big eye. So I'm going to go ahead and thread up my needle. If you don't know how to do the basic cast-on bullion stitch, practice that first before you attempt to do a rose, because it's just going to make your life easier. Now, I've seen people do like diagrams and sketch out, so I'll just show you what I do. There are a couple different ways to start. You can start with 2 ridges in the center, like this one here, the 2 ridges. I'll show you how to do the little ridges in the center first. So you just want to do, you're going to do 2 parallel ridges and close together, and that's going to be your center. Depending on the weight of your thread, that's going to tell you how many cast-ons. So if you have an 8-weight thread, for instance, you're going to do more cast-ons than I'm going to do with this number 3 weight. Go a short distance away and come up next to where you originally came up with your thread, and then you're going to do a cast-on. So there's 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4, 5, 6, 7. I think 7 is probably more than enough. And then what I like to do is I like to wrap the thread to the back of the needle, which I have found personally helps. It just allows that ridge not to twist on me. I'm going to pull my thread through while holding with my thumb and index finger from my other non-dominant hand. I'm going to hold that ridge until the stitch has completely gone through. I have nothing flopping around. I'm then going to go back down where that thread came up. And that's my first ridge. And then I'm going to come up right next to it. It's going to be just parallel. And I'm going to come back down right next to it. And I'm going to do, I can't remember how many wraps I did, but did I do 6? I can't remember. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. You can always count them, count the ridges. Now the other thing to think about is the tension on each wrap. If my tension is uneven, I'm going to get weird little nubs and knobs coming around. Put the thread to the back of the needle and pull this up. Pull that until it is taut, and then go back down. And now I'm going to start the rose. You can start the petal really anywhere. What I typically do is I go somewhere in between these 2 legs of the parallel of the center cast on that I've just made. Right now it's a little closer to this leg. It really doesn't matter that much. It's not a big deal. No one's going to notice. And now I'm going to do something just a little less than half. So this would be halfway. I'm going to come more like here, especially for this first layer. So maybe, I don't know, a third, maybe a quarter, probably more like a third. I don't know, whatever that is. You do not need to worry though. If you do it halfway, that's okay. You're just going to adjust how many cast-ons you do. So this is 8. I think I'll do 9. Thread in the back. Pull this through. Hold it and pull it till it's flush. This stitch is flush with this. And then go back down. Okay, now I'm going to come up, and this is me. This is how I do it. I like to do it close to where this guy is, this leg. I'm going to come up right there with my needle. So it's just going to have a little overlap. And then I'm going to come, so halfway would be over here. I'm going to come more like here. And now I'm going to do my cast-ons. This does not have to have the same exact number as this one. Just because you did 9 on this doesn't mean you have to do 9 on that. But if you keep it fairly similar and the distance fairly similar for this first round, they'll just be even-ish. But honestly, yeah, you lose count, it doesn't matter. I think I forgot to twist this into the back. It's okay. If you do a hoop, this is a great stitch to do with a hoop. I'm used to not using hoops. I find them, I don't know, more of a hassle than they're worth to me, but that's just because I've not used one, for so long. I'm just used to not using one. Okay, so I'm going to come up close to where this leg is. And I'm going to do the same thing. Come around. Do my cast-ons. Thread wrap to the back. Pull this through. Go back down. Come up close to where this leg ended. And then come around again. Start doing my cast-ons. Thread to the back. Pull that through. that's my first little row. I can make these as large, so I can do as many rows as I want, or I could leave it like this, you know? But I'm going to keep going. Do one more row around. So this one I'm going to make a little bit I'm going to make this petal perhaps a little bigger. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so it's 12. Pull that through. I like tucking these down into the, close to the other. You can have them spread out farther and experiment with that and see what you like. Thread in the back, pull this through. I'm going to end my thread after this one so that I'm not struggling, even though I might be able to get one more in here. I don't know. I probably could. Pull that until this is right up to, the stitch is right to the flush with the material, the base fabric. I can do one more. I can get one more length out of here. Come back up. Go back down. And I'm going to do 12. You can see my thread is starting to twist up. I'll show you what I do without taking the needle out. So you can just pull the thread through the eye. Pull it like that with your finger, and then pull it back through, and that'll untwist it. Thread in the back, pull this through. Go back down. I think I can actually finish this. Do one more. I'm going to tuck it in right here, and that's going to be my end. As I said, I could keep going. This is cutting it close. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and end my thread here. And there's my little cast-on bullion rose. This one I just did in a number 5 painter's pearl cotton, and I did it without doing the 2 center stitches. So I just started creating without the 2. And so it just looks a little different. Not much. I don't know if you can even tell. But instead of it being parallel, it's slightly off. I'm going to show you how to do a Cast-On Bullion Rose without doing the 2 parallel lines. So instead of doing a line here, I'm just going to do a random small stitch here. Then I'm going to do my cast-ons as usual. Thread in the back of the needle, pull it through. And then instead of doing another one that's parallel to it, I'm going to start the way I do after I do the parallels. So I'm just going to pretend that I've already got those parallels. I'm going to come in, and I'm going to go over here. And now I'm going to do my cast-ons. Making things a little trickier for myself because I'm going on top of this material that's a little bit frayed. But I just want to make sure that I pull this so that the stitch, this last cast on, is flush. And I probably could have done a couple more cast-ons so that it didn't pull the fabric, but that's okay. It's going to be hidden underneath. I'm going to now come in just as I did in the other, and I'm going to keep going. I'm just going to keep going around, just like I did, just as I showed you with the other one. Now another thing I'm doing is I'm increasing my stitches, the number of stitches with every single one. So instead of doing basically the same number for a whole way around, and you can just play with this. There's no steadfast rule here, but I'm going to increase, and you'll be able to see what that looks like. Okay, I'm going to come back. So I'm increasing it by just a couple stitches. So each petal is just going to be a little bit longer than the other. And like I said, you can play with this and do all different sort of experiments with it to see what you think you like best. You can also just make little buds, you know, and leave them like this. Or if you want to keep going, you can. It's really easy to do different things and play and see what you like, see what kind of variation you like on it. I'm going to do one more, and I think that'll be it. So maybe I do one more. That's the thing, there's no set rule here. You just do whatever looks like it's gonna give you the sort of look that you want. I did not do myself any favors by doing it on a frayed edge. Just FYI. So these are like 20 wraps, cast-ons at this point. Every time I do one, I think, well, maybe I should do one more. But that looks pretty good, so I think I'll leave that. Okay, and then if I feel like it, I can put right in the center, right there, I can put a different color. Okay, so with this one, I'm going to use a different color. So I'm using these two, Peony and Ariane. And I'm going to come right up into the middle of this. And I'm going to do a little French knot, but you could do a drizzle stitch, or you could put a bead. You could do it in metallic. You could do, 3 little drizzles coming out in a much thinner thread. So there it is with a little French knot. Another thing you can do is you can take another material. This is just some wool I had lying around, but it could be anything. It could be cotton or linen or whatever. And then you can start your little rose right in the middle and have it come out so that this just kind of folds out. You can imagine what that would look like with this underneath. So one thing I could do is cut this like a little keyhole and then put this underneath. I might need to make that a little bit bigger. Right, and then this can come around. And then I can, I don't know, do something here later. But these are all just ideas. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. I don't often do how to do embroidery stitches these days, but every now and then if I'm doing something and I realize I haven't done it in a while, I'll put in a how to stitch whatever video. So if you enjoyed this and want to see these videos, you can always subscribe, and you can choose what you subscribe to. I have a whole bunch of playlists, and you can choose which ones you want to subscribe to, and you don't have to subscribe to the others. Thanks so much for watching.